is up, beautiful souls? I am Sydalexandria. Today we are going to be talking about this physical rebirthing exercise that I just intuitively did on a day that you guys might have heard me talk about a few times, March 16th. So I thought, what better of a time to do this than the beginning of March, when I intuitively did this, and later after doing this, I realized that apparently it's a thing and other people have done this too. So I call this a physical rebirthing exercise because that is the best way to explain it. Okay, obviously you are not going to physically be reborn again in this body. However, you can have a meditative experience where you feel called to do this. Or maybe you just feel called to do this while watching it, and maybe you consciously plan to do this at a certain time after you've done a meditation, or you want to do this as a meditation. I'm not really sure how that would work, but do whatever you feel called to do. So I'm going to explain what I did. Mind you, this was on a day where I believe I was in the fifth dimension for multiple hours. So I was already having a super meditative spiritual experience. I had seen past lives, parallel lives, other places that my energy is right now. I've talked about this a couple times sprinkled in on my channel, so check out my other videos and playlists if you're interested in that. But the most powerful thing I did that day, a few years ago now, was that I wrapped myself up in a blanket. My head was out, but I kind of like burritoed myself into this blanket, this super fluffy, warm, really nice high quality blanket, just so you get the full picture. And I was laying on the couch at one point, and then I moved to my bed. So it wasn't like I did have to keep doing this, but it wasn't like I couldn't pause and move to a different location that I felt called to. But during this time, I was like, I need things to be done in a certain way, and I knew I needed to move from my couch to my bed. Then I think back to the couch again. I was on one couch, bed, other couch. And I was doing this thing with my legs, and I don't really know how to explain it. I was kind of like bicycle pedaling, I guess. But that was a major part of how to do this exercise. Editor's clip. It wasn't as much so like pedaling a bicycle as it was just kind of like rubbing my legs and my feet together, kind of. Like, it looks so weird. I'm trying to explain it with my fingers, but if these are my two legs, I was just kind of like that, just kind of like rubbing them together and kind of moving them in a weird way. And it made my physical body feel really good, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was like, this is really weird, but I'm gonna do it because it feels right and nice, and like it's actually helping me mentally somehow. I had no clue what I was doing, and I was just doing this for like an hour. I was just moving my legs. You would think I would be super tired the next day, but I wasn't. I felt super energized. So I was mainly moving my legs. I was moving my arms a little bit too, but I'm pretty sure I was just kind of like hugging myself and like kind of kicking and pedaling my legs a little bit. And I was doing like some neck circles. It was weird. I was just doing like intuitive yoga to the next level. And I'm not a yoga person. I'm just not. Nothing against yoga. I think the concept is super cool, and I love like intuitive bodily movement and intuitive like dancing and stuff, and I think that is in the same realm of yoga. I just don't like textbook yoga, if that's a thing. I like intuitive bodily movement. Anyways, so I'm doing this physical rebirthing exercise not knowing that it's a rebirthing exercise. It's some form of physical, intuitive, bodily movement, is what I think I'm doing as I'm doing it. And then I get to this point where I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm almost done. And then all of a sudden, I see a bunch of different sets of eyes, and these eyes look different. If I had to pick off the top of my head, there's like 7 or 8 pairs of these eyes. And I'm like, wow. And I think one of them was actually only one eye. Like, most of them had 2 eyes, but there was one with 1 eye. And I was like, that's interesting. I didn't even think that was weird. I was just like, wow, diversity. That was my thoughts with this. So there's all these sorts of different types of eyes. Very diverse portfolio we've got here. And then there was like these other 2 that I thought were cool. I was like, that set's cool, that set's cool. And then I focus in on these 1 eyes, and I was like, wow, that's them. I don't want to look at any other ones. These are the eyes. And I don't know if that was me like picking myself, picking parents, picking a mother, I don't know. So I focus in on these sets of eyes, and I realize after I did it, whoa, I just chose those eyes. And I'm like, what did I choose? What am I doing? What did I just agree to? And then I see myself as this fetus, this alien fetus, because it's not, I could tell it wasn't human. It looks very close to being a human. It was like this hominoid being, but the skin didn't look human. And I was like, is that what like baby skin looks like? Because at this point, I don't know. I know babies are supposed to look kind of weird. And then I'm like, no, that's not human. Those eyes are way too big. They're like alien eyes, guys, like stereotypical. And I was like, whoa, like the eyes are way too big to be human though. And I was like, it felt otherworldly in a very positive way. It wasn't like, whoa, it's an alien. It's like, whoa, that's like such a cute little otherworldly baby. And I could tell it was like inside a womb. It was like a fetus still in a mother. And then I was like, that kind of feels like me, but I wasn't so sure. And then I saw this being, myself, kind of shoulders up, just like this like profile shot of this profile, not side profile, this profile, shoulders up. And this being has no hair, bug-like skin, obviously the same being as I saw as a fetus, but this being, it's definitely me now because I see the eyes open, and it's these big eyes. I've talked about this. I talked about it in my last video even. It's a being from Antares, and it's me because I looked in my eyes and I knew it was me. And at this point, once I saw this being and I recognized it as being myself, I stopped the kicking, and I got out of the blanket shortly after. I stayed in the blanket for a while, but I stopped having this intuitive movement. I remember this like it was yesterday. Once I acknowledged that's me, like the kicking had slowed down, and it wasn't kicking, it was like pedaling, but it felt amazing and much needed. And it was kind of, I realized this after I stopped moving and after I acknowledged that's me in another, it's right now, but it's somewhere else. And then it went away, the vision in my mind went away. I stopped moving, and I was like, whoa, I just like rebirthed myself. And it was interesting that I saw this parallel life me at the end of this. So I don't know if that was trauma with that birth, which I'm just now thinking that thought that might be why, as I'm filming this, questioning why I saw that instead of myself this life. I just kind of assumed that I needed to do this exercise to clear out trauma from like my birth in this life, in this world as Sydney. Because when I was born, I almost died because I was like drowning in fluid, and immediately after I was born, I didn't go right to either of my parents. I went in doctor's arms to go stop myself from drowning So there was all these doctors that held me before, and then I was, placed on my mom and all of that. But the first few minutes, I was just like traumatized, probably. So I figured maybe that was why I had to do this, because as soon as I got that recognition, I was like, whoa, I just rebirthed myself. I was doing that movement, and then I picked eyes and stuff because that was like me getting to redo my birth. I was like cuddled up in this blanket, and then I got out of the blanket at the end. It was me, like, it was just like moving through a vagina portal. It was weird that I was kicking my legs like that. I don't know. That's the only way I could explain it. And then I watched a video by Bridget. I'm going to try to look for it, and if I can find it, I'll put it in the description of this video. If not, I don't know. But she talked about a very similar thing, and I was like, whoa, like, I'm not totally bonkers, because other people felt the need to do something similar too. I'm pretty sure she talked about getting in a blanket and doing this, and that's exactly what I had done prior to, I believe, her posting that video. So I was like, whoa, I did that like a year ago. And I just wanted to share this because I think doing this at the beginning of spring, especially, can be extremely beneficial. And if you live in a different area of the world than me, I'm in Michigan in the US. So if you live somewhere else, doing this when the weather starts to turn from winter to spring, as the weather gets warmer, do this. And I think that's going to be the best time to do it, other than the time that you feel called to. The best time to do anything is when you feel motivated and inspired to do so. When you get that spark of intuition, inspiration, motivation, and passion, that's when you should do everything and anything in life. So I wanted to share this because of the time of year and because I felt called to do so. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you don't think it's weird, because it's really beautiful, and I don't think there's anything weird about taking a walk outside and crying, or intuitive dancing, or a physical rebirthing exercise. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.